I'm going to show you how to set up laser engraver to laser engrave or cut out your project. So first thing we have to do is get into the laser engraver, and you're going to jog the device over here, this laser pointer. If the pointer is not red, you can see that little red dot there. If that red dot's not there, you got to just push this to turn it on. So it's set up there right now. Then I need to go to focus, and I'm going to move the table down. So I'm going to move down on the joystick. It's going very slow. So if I hit the arrow, you can see that had 2 arrows show up. That's rapid speed. I want to bring it really low, and then I need to get my Q-tips and my spray, and I'm going to spray on this little Q-tip here and get it right in that nozzle. There we go. So it's nice and wet, and our goal is to look inside this, and you can see that Q-tip. I am cleaning the lens right now. So we got to get that nice and clean, and you can see it's very dark. You want to get all that soot off there. You need to do it every time before you use a laser cutter. So I have it clean. Now I can move the table back up. So I'm going to focus again, move it up. And I need to now put on my triangle. Put this on here. And when that touches the board, it's focused. So I'm going to go up. And you see I went a little too far. So I'm going to hit this left to go to refined. Go down a little bit. Reset this. And it's getting pretty close. There we go. So that's pretty close to zeroed. If you don't have it focused, then when it cuts, it's going to start smoking everywhere. It's not going to be a nice cut. It's definitely important to focus that. So now let's go to jog, and I'm going to jog this all the way over to where I believe 0, 0 is. So move that laser pointer up and over, and that is where I think 0, 0 is. So now I'm going to hit this middle button, and it resets 0 all the way in there. So now that knows that is 0. So I've focused it in the Z direction by focusing, and I've set the jog to 0, 0. Everything is set. I have my piece of wood, and my piece of wood, I made sure that my project would fit on this, but my width is about 10 inches. My height is about 11 and a half. I'm going to close this. I'm going to go to my project, and I'm going to open up this clock. And we need to make sure that your sheet size is the size of that piece of wood. It's kind of important to do that before you start, otherwise you may have to move your project around. So I'll do edit sheet, this one at a height of 10, and a height of 11.5 and a width of 10. So we'll see if I get lucky, and yay, it stays on that sheet, so I'm good to go. If I did everything correctly when I set this up, I set all these thin lines to a thin line weight. It should cut those, and it should engrave my numbers. Well, I did do that correctly when I did my project, so I'm going to go and print this. So if I click on the print icon here, or you can just do file print, that works too. Then it gives you a printer option. You need to click the drop down and go to Win-X64 Fusion Engraver and go to Properties. For our project, we first need to set up the piece size. So horizontal was 10 and your vertical was 11.5. It is combined because we're doing raster, which is engraving, and vector, which is cutting. So we have to make sure this is combined. And then we set our raster and vector speeds. I want my power to be 100. I want to make a dark engraving on this. And my speed, it's kind of hit or miss here. For my clock, I think I did a speed of about 30. So it really engraves deep. The slower you go, the deeper it's going to engrave. And the higher the power, the deeper it's going to engrave. So I'm going to set that to 40 and 100. And then vector settings, we want this to be 100. This is where we cut. Frequency 100, and then speed at 6. So drag this down to 6, and that will allow it to cut a 1/4 inch plywood in one pass. So we've done our raster settings, our vector settings, it's combined, and we have our piece dimensions. We click OK, and then OK again, and now it's sending that to the engraver. And you can see that changed to Green Bay Clock, the name of it. It's a 19-minute and 48-second part. The last thing you need to do is turn on the fans. And now if I click go, it will begin to engrave. And you can see there with a 40 speed and a 100 power, the rough depth that we're getting out of this thing. So I'm going to stop it and open this, pull it out so you can kind of see that depth that we get out of that. So that's a speed of 40 and a power of 100. So you can set yours accordingly and it will go through and do everything. Once you're done, you're probably going to want to get some sandpaper and sand off some of this dark smoke lines that are on there. That's all we got.